looks brilliant, give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. Yeah, you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy for the light. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. There you are at my hand again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow. I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. I know you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. Run my own way to get there. Force a calling that I don't seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me the storm is coming, I'm sick of all your lies. Why don't you try to be why? Know that I need you, why? Just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks a beat down, I cross the line just to tell you. Don't leave the way, don't even say that I don't.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again to a Marvel Talk. I am, of course, OLED Ed Fries, joined as always by Andre, two-thirds of him at least. C. We are without our Marvel Talk host, Peggy, tonight, unfortunately. That's sad. We forgot to let her know that we were doing this show, so that's why she's not here today.
It's her show. She should know.
I won't tell you which one of us is supposed to tell Peggy things, but I'll just assume that we all know.
You have contact with her.
I know.
She said when I messaged her today, she said you already talked to her.
Yes, but not about this.
Oh, okay.
Me and Peggy said things back and forth about all kinds of things, and we've got a lot to talk about here. We've got the Disney upfronts that happened yesterday. We've got news and notes coming out of that. Andre, we'll start with our chat first before we get to that. Bobby Buns into the chat. Hello, my friends. How are you doing? We are doing fantastic. Andre's very excited that Mina's new music is gone and her old music is back. So yes. Andre's a very happy camper. We got Addie Carver jumping in. Hello. Hello, Addie. Congratulations.
Hi, Addie.
Congratulations on your graduation. All the best to you in this crazy, fucked up world. You're entering, as Deadpool would say, you're entering at a low point, but there's room for improvement. So let's see what happens.
There's other room for the other direction too.
Let's hope for improvement. Speaking of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and improvement, Thunderbolts was great. Yes. Now we're on to things that were done before the change in the way that Disney is taking care of their Disney Plus shows. Peggy's here. Oh, hey, a Marvel show.
I'm so ashamed.
I've already reamed out Andre. The situation has been fixed. It's fine. Peggy might be joining us for the next show, which is in 2 weeks, and it is going to be Spider-Man Homecoming. MCU Rebound.
May
Spider-Man Homecoming.
25th.
May 25th.
Right? No, no.
No,
Sorry,
it's
May 28th. May 28th. 25th.
I'm like,
is
do we
the
want it on
Monaco
Monday?
Grand Prix. No, that's a Sunday.
Anyways.
The Monaco Grand Prix is on the 25th.
Oh, that's delightful. Anyways, Disney upfronts. We found out that I don't think Disney has high hopes for Ironheart. They're releasing 3 of the 6 episodes at once. They are giving us half the episodes at one time. Sort of. She did give me permission tonight after I told her, and she said that she knew nothing about it. But yes, I believe we have some form of approval from our Empress Peggy. Andre, what are your thoughts on 3 episodes? What are your thoughts on 3 episodes at once, followed by 3 single episodes following?
I kind of wished they would have done 2, 2, and 2. I think that would have released 2, 2, 2, and 2, because you're hammering us with 3 episodes in one night, and then you're coming back with one and one. It's like, yeah, Peggy. It seems out of place to hammer it like that. Like a 2, 2, and 2 would make sense, because like what they did with Andor, they did, was it 2, 3,
3,
2?
3, and 3.
Was it 3, 3, and 3? They only did 9 episodes? I thought it was 2, 3, 2, 3, because they did 10 episodes. But like, do something along that lines. Like, just do a 2, 2, 2, because 3, 1, 1, 1. Then you can get it, and then you can hammer it out in 3 weeks instead of 4. If you do 2, 2, 2.
My question is the first. My guess is the first 3 episodes are important for the way the story goes. They want all of these things answered right away.
It's very possible, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
And we're going to see. We're going to see right now what Disney thinks of this, because Disney today gave us a trailer.
I haven't seen this. Me too. Perfect.
For the first time when we're doing one of these, I haven't watched one of these ahead of time.
Ooh.
Ophelia says 3 times 4 weeks, 12 episodes of Andor.
Okay.
So they did 3 sets. They did 4 sets of 3.
That makes sense. Well, again, that's how we should be doing it.
So here we go. Marvel's official Disney Plus trailer for Ironheart.
Hello? For real?
Welcome, Riri. In less than 3 minutes, the air in this elevator will no longer be breathable.
Oh, what is this?
You ready, Riri? You'll suffocate and die unless you break into the device on the floor, where you will find a gas mask. Good luck.
Screw this.
I heard Riri Williams was a genius. So, you in or out? Riri, I see you. I see you're fed up, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
You are not the first genius at MIT.
How come you're not working at one of those fancy tech firms?
After my internship abroad, I want to build something undeniable, something
Important?
iconic.
It's a brand new
I can give you the tools to help you carry out your vision. But anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done. What will you do, Riri?
You've bitten off a hell of a lot more than you can chew. I could chew a lot.
You know nothing about this man.
You're gonna end up dead or in jail.
This is so much bigger than that. is wild. A shady bunker.
My bunker's not shady.
Would a shady bunker have that on the wall?
It's literally above a crate of self-guided missiles.
I'm returning those.
All right, not bad.
No, I'm down. The only thing I wish we would have gotten in there was a Don Cheadle cameo. I really was hoping maybe we get just a bit with him in it. And this year could being that she's putting the suit on, and he's the last suit going right now. So, you know.
Oh, SCG is not going to be a happy camper. Yes,
Sorry,
Anthony
brother.
Ramos is in this. I'm very excited for Anthony Ramos. I'm excited for what I've seen so far in this trailer. But again, I've been excited for this show for some time now.
Yeah.
I mean, Andre can attest. Every time we talk about this show, I talk about how excited I am for this show. I thought Riri Williams was delightful in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I think she seems to be more interesting in this show.
Oh, that is him. That was Han Solo. I thought that was Han Solo. That was young Han Solo in there. Alden Ehrenreich.
Oh, okay.
The dude
Justice
at
for
the end. The dude in the bunker. That's Alden Ehrenreich. I was like, that's fuck. That's awesome.
Apparently, Manny from Good Girls as well.
Oh, I know him from a show called Rosewood. He was the little brother.
This-
He was the little brother in Rosewood.
So it seems to me there's going to be some eye candy for the ladies in this episode, with these episodes, with Anthony Ramos, with this Manny guy. Seems like Ashley's very excited for some eye candy here. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said,
Jim Rash is back. I'm excited.
Yeah. Like I said, I've been very excited for this show in some time. So, again, these reviews on the 25th of June, we will have the first 3 episode review, and then we'll have weekly episodes from then on. And then we got something fun and exciting for after that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Andre, this one I didn't tell you about, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this up on the screen because it is, while we may be Marvel talk, we're not all Marvel. We've done some things, and Andre's told me that we're going to be doing this, as reluctant as I am. So we're going to talk about Superman. DC also released a trailer today. This movie drops, this is trailer number 2, and this movie drops July 11th, 2 weeks before Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are, James Gunn's, which is why I'm showing it, because it's a James Gunn.
Am I gonna have to get a hold of Alex to come back for another DC?
No,
DC takes over Marvel Talks?
I'm going to do the show. I'm just not.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm so excited for that one. I love it.
Yeah.
Dude,
so sorry about that.
So
my internet is indeed a bit wonky. I do apologize. Bobby says, just like Our Lady Peace once saying, Superman's dead. Well, at least this one is.
Gunn is about to resurrect Superman. Finally, a good Superman movie. I don't think they've ever made a good Superman movie, in my opinion.
I think they've made a whole bunch of good Superman movies.
Okay, the first 2 Christopher Reeves were good, but since then, there's been great television shows about Superman. Smallville, Lois and Clark, the Supergirl series about Supergirl, great. Superman and Lois with Tyler Hoechlin, great series. But Man is terrible premise of I hate Jonathan Kent in that movie. Too dark, didn't care for it. I'm sorry, I love Brandon Routh, but that movie was boring as sin. So I don't again the first 2 Christopher Reeves were great. The other 2 were the reason they retconned them with Superman Returns. But yeah, for Superman movies, there's only been 2. But TV shows, there's been a lot of great stuff. But just I'm hoping Gunn can do something that no movie's been able to do since Christopher Reeves.
I would say I'm a big fan of Henry Cavill as Superman. I think that first movie is really good. I'm not a huge fan of Batman v Superman. Obviously, I think if you're willing to sit through the entirety of the director's cut, I think it's a lot better.
I'm on the opposite point. I don't think Man of Steel is very good.
Yeah.
Where Batman versus Superman, when Superman plays off of other people, like has other suits to play to, like he did in Batman v Superman with Wonder Woman and Batman. Honestly, if you watch the Zack Snyder cut, his Superman's very good in Justice League. When you have him playing off of other characters that are at his on his level in a way, I think he's really good. But when you just have like Man of Steel, the only good part about that movie was Zod. I thought what's his I can't remember his name now. He's an amazing actor. He did a great job as Zod, but that movie just it plodded along. I haven't seen a good solid just Superman movie in a long time. Personally, again, personal
Michael
feeling.
Shannon.
Michael Shannon, dude, amazing actor, and he did a phenomenal job playing General Zod. But again, it's one of those. It's one of those characters that's very hard to do. Also, how to take a god and realistically put him into fights with other people. Yes, and dude, who's playing?
Nicholas Hoult.
It's Beast playing Nicholas Hoult. I almost said Nick Braun because he's another actor I really like. Nicholas Hoult, like he looks the part. He looks like like Jesse Eisenberg was shit in BVS. Don't get me wrong. He was not the right choice for Lex Luthor. But like I feel that feeling when I see him in the trailers when he speaks. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds right. When he speaks in the trailers, it sounds right for Lex Luthor. Oh, can't wait for that.
I was gonna say I'm kind of the opposite. I don't think that other than Smallville, I don't think they've ever got Lex Luthor. I don't think that they did Lex Luthor right in the originals with Kevin Spacey. Well, I'm sorry, not the originals, but when they did him with Kevin Spacey, I didn't love it. When they did him, movie. Michael Rosenbaum was fantastic.
Rosenbaum was great.
I mean, is it John Cryer, the guy from 2.5 Men?
Yeah, he
that played him at some point.
Oh,
and then I just don't get Nicholas Hoult. And by the way, they're also another thing that I'm not loving here is they're introducing us to a bunch of super people in a Superman origin story movie, like the beginning of the Superman movie, and it's like there just might be too many super people in this because we've already seen in the trailers. We've seen Mr. Terrific. We're seeing Green Lantern, the guy Gardner Green Lantern.
The best one. It's Nathan Fillion.
The worst Green Lantern.
Yes, but it's Nathan Fillion, and that's all that matters.
Yes, I agree. Nathan Fillion is a great Green Lantern, but I also would have really, really loved to have seen a John Stewart Green Lantern.
Which
we haven't done that in a movie. But I want that in the movie.
Kyle Chandler. We're gonna get Kyle Chandler, man.
All right.
He's going to be over the hill around Hal Jordan. Come on.
Last thing we're going to talk about before we get to the thing we're supposed to be talking about. We've been here for 21 minutes already. The last thing I want from the upfronts that we found out about that's newsworthy. Well, two things. Kristen Ritter is returning to Daredevil season 2 as Jessica Jones is confirmed by Marvel. And also,
does that mean we're going to get Finn Jones?
No.
I mean, whoever the chick who played the Misty Knight and Colleen Wing, I want them back. I just don't want Finn Jones back. God no.
Also, the last thing that we're going to talk about here with the upfronts is Wonder Man is confirmed for 8 episodes, and it is going to be 30-minute episodes, which normally I would say bad idea, too short, make it 4 1-hour episodes. However, the fact that it's being produced like a TV show where it's a half-an-hour show, I think is thematically sensational.
Yeah.
The fact that Wonder Man, a show about a guy, an actor who plays Wonder Man, who gets superpowers, being on an 8-episode, 30-minute TV show just seems perfect.
Well, look at WandaVision. This first few, it played it used a sitcom play, and it didn't run past. It ran in that slot, and it ran perfectly to time out a TV show. In those first 3 episodes, that's how they did it, and it did it well. If you're doing that, you're telling this guy playing a guy on TV. It can work into the sitcom 30-minute. I know it's be sitcom, but like any 30-minute method could work for this. I think you're right. I think that kind of style will work perfectly for this, and that makes me happy.
Yep. And so we're very excited for Wonder Man. That will be coming in December, from what I saw. I believe they said it'll be coming in December. So, but now we're here for Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2. Oh boy! So to reiterate,
just had to bring the stream down, didn't you? You just had to bring the stream down.
To reiterate, we both really love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. We both really enjoy that movie.
It's one of the best Marvel movies going out there.
We both love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We've reviewed it on this channel. You can go watch it. We both cried with that movie. We both adore the first and the third. Mm-hmm. Andre and I have differing opinions when it comes to this movie.
Oh, do you really, really, really love it?
No, but I don't hate it.
Oh, I don't hate it. It's just,
and I think one of the things I think that really gets to me about watching this, and it's been rewatches. It's about to get spicy. Guardians 1, 2 is boring, 3 was way better than 2, but still not 1. The Christmas special was fun.
I disagree because I think 3 is better than 1, but that's a personal feeling. But
yeah, I think 3 is very close to being better than 1. No, I think part of it, has to do with the situation that I personally live in while watching this movie from a personal perspective. I am a father of a child who I didn't get to know for a portion of her life. So I really relate to the Star-Lord ego story that they're trying to tell here. There's lots of this. Now, granted, I don't love the way they decide to end this story, but I think that they do a really good job through the majority of this movie, pulling at the heartstrings of the parental side of this, with Star-Lord being angry because of how long Ego was gone with Star-Lord. He's angry. He's upset. He has reason to be for that. I mean, my situation is a bit different, but I get the idea of coming back and not knowing how to be there sometimes, and not knowing what to do, and trying to find that connection with a piece of you. Now, granted, again, his is all very evil in nature, but I think for a lot of this movie, I think that story really works. And then you get to the end, and it all kind of falls apart.
Yeah. But and I'm on the opposite side. That part of the movie is what really pulls me out of the movie, because I don't have that. Again, I grew up with my father in my life, parents divorced, but again, both parents in my dad. My dad was my best friend. Was one of my best friends in my life as growing up, and until he passed away. And and I don't have children. I don't have those things, at least any that I know of. But I don't know. I don't have that connection that way. And so for me, a lot of the Ego and Star-Lord stuff is just like, go back to the Rocket stuff. Go back to the Ravager stuff is what I want when I'm watching this movie. Like, again, we all have different outlooks on how we see the movie. And when it gets to everything, that relationship goes to hell and it all goes into craziness at the end. That's where that movie, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, yeah, we see again, we all see it from different perspectives, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I think this movie, it plays to I think James Gunn did a very good job making a movie that plays that everybody can understand. But the if you're in the situation, it just becomes that much more. And again, when I watch it back today, it really hit me. And then the Thunderbolt stuff, like when you pair this at watching this shortly after seeing the Thunderbolts, as I've seen it now for a second time, it's just there's just so much in that gives you a lot of similar feelings. And there's so much emotions in all of this in so many different ways. Like you talk about the rocket stuff. The rocket stuff is great. The Yondu arc in this movie is fantastic. There's just so much good stuff. But it's paired with a bit of a, if you don't care for the Ego Star-Lord story, it really makes this movie kind of fall off a cliff. Because it all kind of hinges on the Star-Lord Ego storyline. And if you're not into that, I can see.
And I don't say it's bad. I don't. It's just this movie's fine. I don't mind. This is unlike the Hulk. I don't mind rewatching this movie. I still get enjoyment out of this movie. And again, I see the relationship. I understand it. It's just after the first couple times seeing it, and I'm like, I watched it again. I didn't skip. I don't skip anything. But like, I don't feel the need to watch those parts because I know what's coming. Seen it, I know it's coming. The first time, I think I probably liked that story better the first time I saw it. I know I did because I went back and looked at like Facebook. I looked around the time at my Facebook messages, and I posted about loving Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which again I did, and I still do love it. I just don't. It's my love for it has diminished over the years because again that part of it has become my least favorite part of the movie, and it's a large chunk of the movie.
Yeah. One of the fun things I think something I'm trying to grab for the stream because I accidentally closed it on my. I accidentally closed it on.
Oh, you sent that to me. The thing you sent to me.
Yeah, can you open that? Because I accidentally closed my Discord and I can't get it to open again.
Hold on, I gotta find it. I can't open my Discord on my computer right now because it'll slow.
Right, I got it then.
Me, I can just.
Astrid, disregard this message. Go ahead and talk about. Let's go ahead and we'll start with the cast. Talk about Chris Pratt and his reprisal of Star-Lord again in a second.
Okay, and you see the stuff with him. He plays, and again, his relationship. He plays the Ego, and this is so good. His relationship with Gamora in here just is absolute perfection. See that because again, this movie is supposed to take place only soon after the first one, right? It is in its timeline. It's like they're right close together, and you can see this is the story of him falling. Like you can see him falling in love with her, and her slowly fall in love with him. You could see that those relationships. I really do like that part of that relationship. I love in this movie the way they tell that story. But I thought he's very good in everything he does in this movie. Why catch?
I mean, it is the iconic thing to do with your father. So I get it.
I played catch with my dad. Don't get me wrong, but we did a lot of other things together over life that were much more exciting than catch. But you know what I mean? And I think he does well. I don't. Again, this isn't his strongest performance as a character either, in my personal opinion.
Zoe Saldana, I think, shines as Gamora in this movie. She doesn't get a lot, but every time she's on screen, you're paying attention to what she's doing.
So I'll say this for her. I feel like she's me in the audience. She's the person that everyone that doesn't resonate with the Star-Lord and Ego story in the audience, because she's going, what's actually going on here? What's really going on here? It's like, you know what I mean? She's that person that's like, that's the reason we're sitting there going, oh, okay, but she's that one that's kind of playing it for us. You know what I mean? She's the one you resonate. The one I feel like I resonated through with in throughout the Ego plan and stuff, and Drax. But that was more just because he's goddamn perfect.
Speaking of Drax, Dave Bautista's best role as an actor ever is in Believe it or not,
Whoa,
I
whoa,
think Drax,
whoa.
Drax in this movie is better than anything Dave Bautista's done in any other acting thing he's done. I think
Okay,
the best
his
Drax
second
is
best
movie
role,
2.
his second best acting role, his second best acting role.
What's his
After Batista. That was acting.
Yes. Okay.
I had
His
to.
cinematic
But yeah,
acting.
no. Dude,
I think he's.
Oh, come on, the cop he plays in Stuber is pretty fucking good. But yeah, dude, he's genius. Like, and I have to give it. Like, he was really great in the first one. Like, there's no denying how good he was. But the addition of Mantis to the cast is the best thing that could ever happen to Drax, because the Christmas special and Volume 3 relationship these two form, and how he makes fun of her, and the comedy gold that comes between the two of them is absolutely perfect. Dude, but right off the hop of the movie, him diving into the monster's mouth and going into the stomach, and he's just hacking away and like, and then when she cuts it open, he's like, I single-handedly did it myself. It's absolute perfection.
And then we have Vin Diesel doing the voice of Baby Groot, which is just I Am Groot. I really think he gets off easy on these. I'll be honest with you. I think Vin Diesel gets a little bit of an easy street doing his movies.
It's just probably my favorite version of Groot, Baby Groot, because he just
good.
What he does, the perfection, man. The way they did him in this movie, and like the dance at the beginning, when he gets put in the Ravager suit, and he has to like, and then he's in the prison. They're in prison, and they hand him the fucking emblem. Then he goes to hand it back, and he brings like, what is it? Bring a severed toe and just he's bringing the wrong thing to them. Man, like the way they set up that character is perfection.
I am Groot. Also, some fun things about Groot in this that I wanted to bring up there. James Gunn gave Vin Diesel a version of this Groot that's called the Groot version, which has the actual lines of what Groot would be saying in English written there, so that he can figure out the inflection he needs for each I Am Groot.
I want that script.
Vin Diesel used a higher register of his voice for Baby Groot, in difference to Alpha Groot and Teen Groot that we've seen in other movies. It's up apparently 7 to 9 semitones, depending on which take they're using. Diesel himself recorded Groot's voice in 16 different languages for this movie. Instead of having somebody else do it.
Not that hard.
This is up 6 from the first movie.
I agree. I would ask people about ABT Bread. The Baby Groot show is absolutely funny and phenomenal. Just a great. You just want to have something stupid to put on for a few minutes. Put those on. No, come on. The Fast series. Come on. It's talk about family. You got to be a family. You're muted.
Yeah. The Fast and the Furious movies are fantastic. The Babysitter, I believe it's called, is really good too.
Mm-hmm. No, The Pacifier.
The Pacifier, yes. Sorry, where he plays the babysitter.
Yeah,
it's a great movie. Also, with Groot, there was something that I'd seen years and years ago that I made sure I grabbed for this specifically.
I didn't watch specifically because you're going to play it, so I'm not sure what I'm about to watch.
So for those that don't know, James Gunn did not do full motion capture for the Baby Groot dance during the fight scene in the beginning. However, he did do the whole dance in studio, and they filmed it and then used that in the computer to animate the Baby Groot. And this, I obviously can't play the actual song, even though it's only 7 seconds. But this is the video that people have put together for it. So yes, he did indeed.
James Gunn.
James Gunn did indeed do a version of motion capture for this movie.
I feel like it's gonna be revealed someday that he did all the motion capture for the Eagle and Peacemaker or something and bullshit like that. I feel like that's gonna come out at some point.
Probably.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bradley Cooper shines again as Rocket because I think the hidden main character of the Guardians movies, and it's not hidden anymore now that we've seen all three. But James Gunn revealed that the main character in the movies, if you looked at it, was always Star-Lord. But James Gunn's version of this in his own mind as he made these movies, the hidden main character of these movies is Rocket.
Yeah, you see the evolution because if you look at the first movie, that is the Star-Lord movie with the supporting cast, where this is very much the Rocket and Star-Lord movie because they each have they're each distinctively leading their sides of the story throughout this movie, right? And then the third one is it's the Rocket movie with his supporting cast. It's how they've gone and flipped from what the start was to the end. This is that middle point, and then you get the three. I guess, if you're adding Christmas special and it goes back towards Star-Lord for a bit, that's the Drax and Mantis movie, but doing everything for Star-Lord. So that's a little side tangent.
Palm Klemteff coming in to play as Mantis. Absolutely show stealer. She's fantastic. I adore everything she did here. She's the biggest star of this movie in my mind.
Oh, dude, she's so good. Like she steals every scene she's in. She takes Drax to a whole new level of pure comedy when they're sitting on the steps and he's calling her ugly and shit. It's just so good, and how she connects with him on a personal level when he's talking about his family, and she feels him. And while Drax is a rock, he will never cry. You can tell that he's sad, but he will never cry. She cries for him, and that's beautiful to see how those characters go together. I really do like.
So here's something interesting about Mantis that I didn't know until earlier today doing some research. So Mantis was originally debuted in the Avengers 112. Steve Englehart and Don Heck were the people who created that character. When the movie came out, Polygon spoke to Steve Englehart about the Mantis character. And this is a direct quote from their story. Well, I was not happy with Mantis's portrayal. That character has nothing to do with Mantis. I will say that I liked the film quite a bit overall. They're doing good stuff and I enjoyed my night at the movies. So long as I turned my brain off to the fact that that's not Mantis up there, I really don't know why you would take a character who's as distinctive as Mantis is and do a completely different character and still call her Mantis. That I don't. Interesting. Interesting. I didn't know that until going into this movie. But I find that very intriguing and interesting that the man who created one of the men who created the character did not like it at all in any way, shape, or form. At least that portion of it.
Okay. Interesting.
Another person who I think really does a fantastic job here, portraying a character who is incredibly difficult to portray, and you really can never get it right. So I think he did about as good as anybody could have. Kurt Russell, the father of John Walker, which again, I think is an interesting thing that we're doing these two back to back because Wyatt Russell plays John Walker and his father, Kurt Russell, played Ego. They are the third father-son team to be portrayed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, from what I understand.
Who are the others?
I don't know, but I saw that stat online the other day, and I was like, "That's interesting. What are the other ones?"
I gotta figure this out.
Either way, Ego the Living Planet is a very ambitious type of story to tell. And I thought they did a very interesting job doing it. Having a Celestial, which again, take on a whole new point of view after we've seen the Eternals, is very interesting to see Ego a Celestial, who is Peter's father. But I thought this was great. I loved the nature at which we got Ego for all of this movie, and then the flip as he starts to, get his evil maniacal plan into motion. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was really good. I thought they did an interesting job telling the story.
I found out.
Okay, what are the other two?
So it's Kurt and Wyatt.
Yeah.
So in Black Panther, one of the like the
head of the tribes?
Black Panther, like no, the his dad, T'Chaka.
Okay.
He is in the start of the movie where it's the young T'Chaka is actually the old T'Chaka's son. In real life.
Okay.
And then
so that makes sense.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, while there is some digital stuff to do it, Lawrence Fishburne's son Langston actually played young Bill Foster in the flashbacks, and they use CGI to, because he does have a similar resemblance to his father, but not as close as you would need it for that exact movie. So they did use some features, but it was Langston Fishburne as young Bill Foster.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things about Ego in this movie is Ego replaces the original comic book father, Jason of Quill.
Jason of Spartax, yeah.
Yeah, and they were allowed to be used in this after reaching a deal with 20th Century Fox, in which Marvel Studios returned the Ego film rights in exchange for changing the power set of the Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So, because this movie came out in 2017, but I believe it filmed right about the same time that they were doing Deadpool, which came out in 2016.
Yeah, probably had that. But now again, I would have preferred Jason of Spartax. I know that relationship from the comic. You could have done to play with a whole race of people, and that is a lot bigger spectacle to kind of go through rather than just doing Ego on his planet, right? You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things you would be having to do extra to do Jason of Spartax, which I understand.
Yep, and I think they did a good enough job making it feel right, considering it wasn't technically right.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. Speaking of father figures for Star-Lord, we have Yondu Udonta, played again perfectly by Michael Rooker. 10 out of 10, no notes.
All I want to see Yondu do is eat a chocolate pretzel.
I don't know the reference, and I don't think I want to.
Mallrats.
Oh.
Okay. It's from Kevin Smith for Mallrats, which Michael Rooker was a part of.
I haven't seen Mallrats in far too long.
I love Rooker from when I was a teenager because of Mallrats, watching him on The Walking Dead. And then when I got to see him here, it was absolutely phenomenal. Like, you see him in the first movie. I think he does such a great job to play such a scummy scumbag. And you really get and I love you get to see the backstory of why this dude is even scummier than a scumbag. You learn all the shit and the real reason why he kept Peter and everything. I really did enjoy that. I really like learning more behind of like the backstory with the Ravage. His group of the Ravagers isn't actually part of the Ravagers anymore. They've been booted. I really do like that. I really like his story in here, and then kind of being accepted, kind of accepting being Peter's real, like his adopted father and everything, and Peter accepting that, and I like that.
So here's something fun that I don't know if many people know. Guardians of the Galaxy, the actual Guardians of the Galaxy, not the movies.
Oh, the OG ones, yeah. Yep.
They are in this. At the very end of the movie, the Ravagers. Yeah, the Ravager. Well, he's not technically one of the originals, but he is indeed.
Yeah,
he is indeed one. He's in the early team, but he's not technically in the 69 team. Just so we're clear.
No, yeah, you're right.
I was like, it's an iffy line. He's not quite in that team, but he is.
But he's in the early. He's in the early groups. He's in one of the early groups.
He's in the second. He's in the second or third early group, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, they call it the original team, but it was technically
because Yondu is an original. So
yes, Yondu, Major Victory, Martin X, Charlie 27, Starhawk, Mickey, Alta Orgog, Replica, Talon, Yellow Jacket, and Gina Drake. That's the full list of the original Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's not quite the 69 team. And this is the
69 team is only the 69 team is only Yondu, Major Victory, Martin X, but you get Charlie 27. No, you get Martin X in here, right?
Yeah.
Martin X. I don't know. Starhawk is Sakaar. That is his character. And then the other ones I'm not sure of, honestly.
Yeah. Later, so the original roster was Vance Astro, Martin X Tanaga, Captain Charlie 27, Yondu Nadanta. Later on, that team also included Stakar Orgog, which is the Sylvester Stallone character, Alito Orga, and Mickey. But I do think it's funny that part of that team at the very end of the movie, that Ravagers team, is what theoretically would be one of the versions of that 69 Guardians of the Galaxy thing. So I like that Easter egg is there for those that know. Karen Gillan, again, Amy Pond kills it as Nebula. Not that she has a lot to do here. Again, this one she really doesn't have a ton to do, but she has a nice story with Gamora. She helps keep moving the story along. She does all the things she needs to.
Yeah, and her it's just expanding on the relationship of Gamora and Nebula here and their fight. And again, I love the way how they fight almost to the death here, and then they kind of bury the hatchet almost at the end. They're not quite there, but they're not wanting to kill each other at the end of this.
Yeah.
But they're not wanting to kill each other by the end of this movie. They're not ready to handshake and be pals yet. That won't happen till it doesn't really even.
It never technically happens because it's different versions of the two of them.
Because you kind of get it with 2015 Gamora and Nebula, but that's about it.
Yeah. And then there's two more. Elizabeth Debicki coming in to play Aisha, the Golden High Priestess of the Sovereign.
The Sovereign were there. Like they were very overlooked. You know what I mean? Like they were there. They did fine, I guess.
And nepotism done right every time. Sean Gunn is here again as Kragman. Doing his Sean Gunn thing.
He was there before, so you can't yell at it.
Well,
and
then
can we be one of the best characters in this movie, though?
I mean, we can't.
Taser face.
All right, we're done talking about Taserface. James Gunn began working on this movie within a month of being told that he had one, that he had a second movie, and the release date was moved up to May 5th, 2017. It was originally supposed to be given a release date of July 28th, 2017, and they moved it up to that May slot, which is that new Marvel slot. That May slot is When Marvel feels like they have a big movie, it seems to always be a made movie. Because that's Captain Winter Soldier, that's Civil War, that's Endgame, and Infinity Wars.
Yep.
That May slot was typically always saved for the really big movies that they knew they were going to. Again, like we said, we talked about this movie. It was really good. I think it's not a great movie, but I think it's a really good movie. It does all the things it needs to do. The story is relatively simple, and it doesn't do a lot. They have a job with the Sovereign to protect the batteries. Rocket steals said batteries, begins a chase, which ends up with the team getting in each other's face, where they're saved by Ego. Half the team goes with Ego, the other half stays with Nebula. They get kidnapped by the Ravagers after Yondu has a run-in with Stakar. We then have the overthrow with Taserface taking over the Ravagers from Yondu.
Taserface!
Yeah, Taserface. Delightful. Meanwhile, we have the father-son bonding experience over on Ego's planet. We have the great story of Mantis and Drax. And then we get the downfall of that when Ego tells Peter the plan, and Gamora finds out that all of the children before Peter were killed and put into a room underneath the city. Meanwhile,
so weird.
So weird. Meanwhile, we have Yondu and crew running away from Taserface after blowing up the ship, and they make a space jump that takes over 700 jumps to do. And you're not supposed to apparently do more than 4 at a time.
50.
Oh, is it 50 is the amount you're supposed to? Okay.
Swore he said 50. I could be wrong, but I thought he said the maximum a Terran should be doing is, or maximum life form should be doing is 50. Is
Okay.
how Yondu. I think that was their maximum. He said is that they should be doing. They're going to do 700. So I'm like, or that was the maximum to do safely.
Yeah, I was just saying in the first movie they talk about like doing more than 3 or 4 is like a bad idea.
Yeah, I think he says like 50 is the max you can do safely as a mammalian life form.
And then they do 700. And then they have the big scene where
it all warped shit. It was so good.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
They have the fun scene that everybody loves of Rocket trying to explain to Groot how to blow up Ego's brain with the bomb, and Groot keeps trying to push the button that's going to blow everybody up.
So good, so good. And then he's like, "Does anybody have tape?" And then he's like, "No, there's tape." And then he asked Drax, and he said, "Yeah, Scotch tape will do." Why would you tell me that if you didn't have any? It was just perfection.
Yeah. And of course, then we have the death of Yondu, where Yondu saves Peter, gets Peter back to the ship. But
Mary Poppins.
Yeah, the Mary Poppins ship.
Mm-hmm.
A funny thing, I also saw this to stave off rumors that Yondu was going to die in this movie, because this movie, before it released, they were already filming Infinity War. Michael Rooker went to the set of Infinity War and spent a few weeks on set, just hanging out, hoping that people would report that Michael Rooker was on set so that they wouldn't report that his character dies in this movie.
That's commitment.
It's also must just be fun just sitting on a set, doing nothing and watching your friends do cool shit.
You get to chill with a bunch of people you know and just watch the movie.
Yeah. And of course, after Yondu's death, they go ahead and have the memorial service for him, and all the Ravagers show up, and he gets the Ravager funeral that they earlier had said he would never get because he was trafficking in children, and how he sacrificed his life to save one of those people. And the Ravagers understand that that's the Yondu that they knew. That's the Yondu that was always there underneath until they show up. And it's a wonderful, heartfelt moment where you have all of the different, commanders doing the thing. You have you have Sean Gunn, Kraglin, all excited. He sees it all and he yells and screams, yes! And he's in near to it's a great funeral. We have multiple mid and post credit scenes, including Kraglin trying to take up Yondu's arrow and trying to control it, where he stabs Drax. We have Stakar meeting up with his ex-teammates and fellow Ravager captains, which creates the original Guardians of the Galaxy team that we talked about before.
Played by Michael Rosenbaum as Martin X, Ving Rhames as Charlie 27, and Michelle Yeoh as Alito Gord. So,
and Miley Cyrus as the voice of the head thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus is there too. Yeah, don't you can't miss that one.
Okay.
Aisha creates Adam, what was in the golden birthing pod, as we'll know as Adam Warlock for the third movie.
The only part of that movie,
Yeah, it's weird. Isn't it?
He's all powerful. He's one of the greatest characters in comic book history, and they did him as a comedic joke. And it's one of the only things that I'm like, about the third movie is making him a joke.
Adam Warlock, the man who was the first person to ever hold the Infinity Gauntlet in the original comic book version.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Groot growing into a teenager. And then, of course, our Stan Lee cameo.
Oh my God, that was so good. You go into the room and it's all disgusting because there's him everywhere.
His branches are everywhere.
It's
playing the game.
Yeah. He says, "I am Groot," and they're like, "Oh,
language." Also, we have in one of the post-credit scenes, we have Stan Lee being left as. So this is the great one because this is the movie that gives us Stan Lee as essentially a watcher, and that's why he's always appearing in all these movies as cameos, because Stan Lee is one of the Watchers, and we see him with the actual Watchers, like that look like the Watcher that we saw in What If, and that I'm hoping we're going to see in the future in a Marvel project, because I would really love to see a live action Watcher.
Me too.
I think that it'd be something fun to do. Even if he's just a narrative piece in a bunch of different movies, I don't see why you can't use it.
Okay.
Just have him peering into each movie every now and then and being like, intriguing. And then just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Critical response. This movie did pretty well with critics, and it did pretty well at the box office. Andre, what do you think the domestic numbers were for this movie?
Domestic?
Or worldwide. Domestic or worldwide. Give me either or. I have both.
I don't have an idea for domestic. From what I remember, this wasn't $1 billion one.
I can confirm that you are correct.
I'm gonna say 800 mil. I don't think it wasn't like worldwide. 800 mil.
Yeah, 863 million worldwide. 389 million domestic. In the opening weekend, this movie did $146.5 million in its opening weekend.
Sweet.
To an extent. Because that tells me if you did 145 million opening weekend domestic and you only did 390 million overall, that means you barely doubled your number at the end of the day.
That was a big drop off then going forward.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's an interesting one. It remained in the top 10. By its fifth weekend, the film fell to fourth. It remained number 2 in its fourth weekend. So it debuted at number 1. It remained at number 1 in the second weekend, fell the second and the third weekend behind Alien Covenant. It remained at number 2 in its fourth weekend, this time behind Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. And it crossed 337.6 million, which passed the gross of the first movie in its fifth weekend, where it fell the fourth, and then it fell the fifth, and then it held on for a few more weekends. It was out of the top 10 by its eighth weekend.
Okay.
So it didn't hold very well in any way, shape, or form. The cinema score was an A on the A+ to F scale of cinema score. Metacritic average score was a 67 out of 100. But Andre, those are all just numbers and don't really matter. The number that matters is what was
the Metacritic score?
The Metacritic score was 67 out of 100.
Don't agree with it.
You know, it was 8 weeks in the top 10 in the theaters. I think it stayed in the theaters for a little bit longer, but it was 8 weeks in the top 10 grossing movies of the year. Deadpool and Wolverine was top 10 for 10 or 11 weeks last year in comparison. So Andre,
What is that? I keep hearing a piano.
Yeah, I was wondering the same
going
thing. It's not me. I think it's coming from your house. I don't hear it on my end.
I got nothing, dude. There's nothing coming from me. I can't hear myself. So, and I'm hearing. So I guarantee you it's not me, because I can hear it and I can't hear myself through my headphones. So.
Well, we're almost done. Tomato meter score. What did the critics give Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? I know what it is now. Give me a little bit.
Well, okay. I guess I'm not gonna. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I can't hear anymore because he muted himself. So, yeah. I'm gonna wait till he comes back to give my number. But, dude, I don't hate this movie. I do enjoy this movie. Just so everybody knows, I do not hate it. This is actually a movie I do still enjoy. I just don't like certain parts of it. That certain parts kind of bore me at this point.
All right.
Go ahead, Ed. You're not making
critics score.
78?
85.
Oh shit. Yeah, I guess this was back in the days where they didn't ship as badly on Marvel movies either.
424 reviews, 85% on the tomato meter. Popcorn meter. What did over 100,000 plus fans think? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
90.
87.
Okay.
So I've been high this time. Yeah. To put that in perspective with the first movie, the first Guardians of the Galaxy is a 92 and a 92. And Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is 82 and 94.
I don't agree with that critics rating. There should have been at least a 90, but the 94 makes sense for the popcorn meter. Yeah.
Andre, tell the good people what you guys have got coming up this week and what we can expect in the near future on but not South by Southwest anymore. Point of view.
Point of view this Sunday. You'll have actually the return of F1 talk, like more in depth, because me and Mark will be talking. Which race Sunday? So the races are back in the morning. They're back over in Europe. So the races are back at a time that I can watch it before I jump on. Yeah, because it'll be starting at 7 o'clock, so it'll be over just before we start stream. The Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. We'll be talking about that this Sunday. We'll be talking about some hockey this weekend. Playoffs are happening right now. I haven't seen what the score is yet from the Toronto game, but yeah, and we'll be talking about if Toronto has been eliminated, or if they're on the verge of elimination. So
on the verge. They lost 6-1 tonight.
Oh God, that's not good. Well, it's good for me because I hate them, but not good for people I know. But yeah, and then yeah, we got Edmonton playing tonight, possibly ending their series. So when we talk about that, we'll talk about all of that stuff. They're talking about all of the hockey going on right now, and yeah, so there will be plenty of stuff to talk about. Oh, and then I know there'll be a bunch of footy talk there. You can find me on the X and Blue Sky at that Canada, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at that Canada dude. And then you can find me in a couple of weeks. We'll be back in 2 weeks from tonight. You'll find me again here talking Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Homecoming. Yes. For those that do want to know what we're doing over the next few weeks here on Marvel Talk, again, me and Andre worked this out just ahead of time. Spider-Man Homecoming on May 28th. On June 11th, we will be doing Thor Ragnarok, MCU Rebound. On the 25th, we will have, like we said, the first 3 episodes of Ironheart, which also means on July 2nd, July 9th, and July 16th, we'll be talking Ironheart's episode 4, 5, and 6. And then on the 23rd, in between the end of Ironheart and the Fantastic Four movie, we're going to have MCU Rebound Black Panther. I've been waiting for this. I'm going to do something. We haven't done this in a while. I'm going to tell you right now, Black Panther is in my top 5, and it fluctuates between being my number 1 and number 3 movie on a fairly regular basis in the MCU.
This movie sits right in my. I think it sits around 4 or 5 for me personally at this point. But it's one of those top. It was for a while there. It went back and forth between first and second. Between that and Iron Man, because to me, Iron Man's still the best movie in all of the MCU. I don't care who says it. It's an absolutely perfect movie on its own, and it still holds up. So.
Yeah, so that, and then obviously the weekend of the 26th, we'll be back, most likely on the 27th, that Sunday, to review the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four. As we head to Doomsday.
Oh, I won't get to watch it with Peggy. Damn it.
Why not? Reasons. Anyways, that's what we got going on at Marvel Talk. You can catch me every Tuesday night with Ash Bizarre. We talk all things NXT on Taking Over. Remember that Memorial Day weekend, me and Ash will have Taking Over with the besties included. Yes, the bodyslam.net Tuesday night besties are going to join us. That would be Amanda Savage and DC Hendricks. And the 4 of us are going to talk all things NXT Battleground. I'm very excited for this. This one was my idea. I got to book this one. I gave Asher the PLE off for this one because I wanted to book this one because I've wanted to do something with both of the besties for a while. So I've had a lot of fun putting this one together. I'm very excited, and I hope that it comes to fruition. Battleground's starting to look like an interesting show. So, yeah, it's very intriguing to see what's going on. But, yeah, you can catch us there. And remember that this Saturday, because it is Mental Health Awareness Month, we are going to be having another Love Your Health episode coming out with Bobby Munson, Ashley Bizarro, Auntie Collins, and Melba Collins. The Collins team is back again. As we go ahead and have another Love Your Health, we're talking about mental health, our past experiences with mental health, and telling people that it's okay to reach out for help. And as I can say with this, I mean, I donated to our good friend Mike the Ref stream last night. I donated a little bit that I could to help because he's raising help charity for the Jack Foundation, I believe it's called.
Jack.org. It is to help kids with it's young people with mental depression,
coping with their mental health
and other mental health related issues. So yeah, highly recommend looking into Jack.org.
Yeah, so if you can go over to Mike the Ref and on Twitch, or go to him on Twitter at Mike the Ref. Find out when he's streaming, and if you can, please donate a little bit to that because it's a wonderful charity that does great work. Because mental health is very important, especially for men. Men's mental health often gets very much overlooked, and we have a rough time with it a lot of the time. So it's nice to.
I know that
we've both been there. But yes, thank you to our local establishment for giving us this opportunity. Thank you to Peggy for allowing us to do this show, and hopefully you'll be back hosting your show again for Spider-Man Homecoming in 2 weeks. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you next time. Goodbye.